Hello everyone, this is me Arijit with a new video, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can convert your Raspberry Pi into a wireless router. So it's like, let's say you have a physical router somewhere and now you can just connect your Raspberry Pi with that router so you will get the internet. Now you can create a hotspot in your Raspberry Pi and then you can connect your other devices, your phone, your laptop, anything with that hotspot. Or let's say you don't even have a router, you just have internet through Ethernet cable. You can just connect the Ethernet cable to Raspberry Pi and now you create a hotspot in Raspberry Pi and you can connect all of your wireless devices to the hotspot of Raspberry Pi. Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can do both of the things, and I will show you the simplest way of doing it. So it will hardly take 2 to 3 minutes to convert any Raspberry Pi into a wireless router. And if you're wondering why you have to convert your Raspberry Pi into a router, I'll just tell you a simple case. Let's say you are in a hotel and there you can maximum connect one device with the hotel router. Now either you can connect your mobile or your laptop, something like this. Now what you can do, you can have your Raspberry Pi connected with the hotel router and then you create your hotspot. Now you can connect any number of devices you have with that router, even your friends' devices also. So that's one case. There can be multiple cases like this. So in this video, I'll show you how you can do this. So let's get started. Okay guys, so before I show you in my laptop how to do this, let's talk about what are the things you need for this video and how the overall thing actually works. So if you want to just connect a Ethernet cable with your Raspberry Pi and then you have to create a hotspot in your Pi, in that case the only thing you need is a Raspberry Pi and also a memory card obviously. Now here I'm using Raspberry Pi 5 8GB version, but you can use 4, 3, even Raspberry Pi 0 is going to work. Okay, no problem in that, and the steps are also same. Okay, no difference. And now if you already having a router and you want your Raspberry Pi to connect with that router first and then it will create a hotspot, in that case with Raspberry Pi you will also need a USB Wi-Fi adapter. Now here I am using a TP-Link N150 USB Wi-Fi adapter. Okay, now you can use any other Wi-Fi USB adapter which supports in Raspberry Pi. It is very important that there are multiple USB Wi-Fi adapters in market, but all of them does not support in Raspberry Pi, or the driver installation is sometimes very hectic. Now for this TP-Link N150, there is no need to install any driver. It's just plug and play. You just plug it in and Raspberry Pi will automatically support it. Okay, so it's very easy to use. But yeah, you are free to use any other USB adapter. Okay, so obviously if it supports in Raspberry Pi. Okay, now why you need one extra USB Wi-Fi adapter in case you are connecting the Raspberry Pi with router. So now the thing is how it works is, so see, your Raspberry Pi need the internet. So you are connecting your laptop with the Raspberry Pi. Okay, now if your Raspberry Pi have internet, then only it can provide the internet to the laptop or your mobile. So the first thing is Raspberry Pi needs the internet. Now for that, either you can connect a Ethernet cable with Raspberry Pi, so it will have the internet from there, or you can connect it with a router. Now if you are connecting it with a wireless router, in that case Raspberry Pi itself has a Wi-Fi chip inside it. Now that Wi-Fi chip will be used to connect with the router. Okay, the physical router. Okay, so here there are two things. So there is a physical router, I'll call it a physical router, and there is your Raspberry Pi, we'll call it the Raspberry Pi router or Raspberry Pi hotspot. So to connect with the physical router, your Raspberry Pi needs a Wi-Fi chipset, and it has its own Wi-Fi chipset. Now it also need to create a hotspot. Okay, now to create the hotspot, it will need another Wi-Fi chipset, because a single Wi-Fi chipset can either connect with the router or it can create the hotspot. Okay, it cannot do both together. So here in Raspberry Pi, we need two Wi-Fi chipset, one to connect with the router and another to create the hotspot. That's why if you are wirelessly connecting your Raspberry Pi with the router, physical router, in that case you need one USB Wi-Fi adapter so that you will have another extra Wi-Fi chipset. Okay, now the next thing is, so in this video first we will talk about how you can just create that wireless router so your Raspberry Pi can connect with a physical router wirelessly, and then it will create a hotspot. That thing I'll show you first because that's a little bit complicated, and then I'll show you about the Ethernet one, because the Ethernet one is really easy. Now now you have two Wi-Fi chipset. Now Any of them you have to connect with the router, physical router. Another one you will use for the hotspot. Now here is the thing. Actually, you can use any of the chipset to create the hotspot and to connect with the router. But here is a catch that all USB Wi-Fi adapter does not support access point mode. What is access point mode? To create a hotspot in your Raspberry Pi, the Wi-Fi chipset you are using, that must have it should support access point. Okay, so there is this access point AP mode. It should support the AP mode. Now most of the USB Wi-Fi adapters does not support it. Okay, so that's why you cannot use this USB Wi-Fi adapter to create the hotspot. So, and this TP-Link N150 also does not support AP mode. So what we are going to do in this video is I'm going to use the inbuilt Wi-Fi, inbuilt chipset, inbuilt Wi-Fi chip of Raspberry Pi to create the hotspot because it supports AP mode. So all the Raspberry Pis, all of them have the Wi-Fi chipset, it supports access point mode. Okay, so we are going to use the Raspberry Pi inbuilt Wi-Fi chipset to create the hotspot, and this external USB adapter, Wi-Fi adapter, we are going to use to connect the Raspberry Pi with the wireless router. Okay, so this is how we are going to do it. And in case you are using Ethernet cable, in that case you are getting the internet through Ethernet only. So in that case you can use the the inbuilt Wi-Fi chipset to create the hotspot. There is no need of a external USB Wi-Fi adapter. Okay, so now I will go into my laptop and I will show you exactly how you can do this. Okay guys, so let's start with the very basics. So the very first thing we'll do is we are going to install the OS in a memory card. So I'll use the Raspberry Pi Imager. The link of this software will be in the description. So you open this Raspberry Pi Imager. First thing is we'll choose the OS. So I'm going to use the Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit, the latest version Bucom. Don't use any previous version than Bucom, okay, because the methods may not be same. So I'm going to use this. The storage I'm going to choose is not showing, so I'll just reconnect my memory card. Okay. So as you can see, it's showing that this is a 32GB memory card I'm using. And now here I'm going to go to settings. Here the set host name as Raspberry Pi, okay, .local. Enable SSH must be ticked. Use password authentication. The username will be Pi, the password. So I'll just put a password here. So password I'll just give it. Next here SSID, so which Wi-Fi it will be connected. So in my case I have a router Sparkless 2G that is going to connect it. I'll give the password of my router here and done, and I'm done with this. Now I'll just save it and I'm going to write, and it will take hardly a few minutes to write it. Once it's done, we are going to put the memory card in the Raspberry Pi. We'll boot it and it is automatically going to connect to the router I have provided. Okay, and here I'm going to use SSH and VNC to get the screen, but you can also connect it to a screen through a HDMI cable and connect to it. Okay, so it is now done and we can simply exit from here. And now I'll just take the memory card from it and I'll put this into my Pi and I'm going to give it power. And that's it. And now I'll wait for a few seconds so it will connect to the router, and then I'll just search for the IP address. Once I get the IP, I'll get into it. But you don't need to do all this. You can simply connect with HDMI and you can just do all the steps I'm going to do. Okay, so now I'm inside my Pi, and if you're using a HDMI cable to directly connect, you are going to get the screen directly. Okay, that's it. Next, what is going to do? So as you can see, if I just go to this Wi-Fi icon, you will see that it is connected to this Wi-Fi Sparkless 2G. Okay, and we always have this options. Now this is the inbuilt Wi-Fi card which is connected to this Sparkless 2G. Now first I'll show you how you can actually connect this Raspberry Pi to a router, in our case Sparkless 2G, and then it can create a hotspot of its. So we are going to name the new hotspot as RPI Wi-Fi. Okay, so that I'll show you first. So for that we need to insert the Wi-Fi USB adapter. So now I'll just going to put the Wi-Fi USB adapter. So now I'll put the Wi-Fi USB adapter inside it. So now I put it inside, and now as you can see, it already got it. Now if you just I'll just make it full screen, and now if you just look into it, it's showing that wireless network Broadcom Wi-Fi. So it is basically the inbuilt chipset, and this is wireless network Realtek RTL 8188 US. This is the driver. This is basically driver. So this is our USB Wi-Fi adapter. Okay, so as you can see, our normal the inbuilt Wi-Fi chipset has been connected to Sparkless 2G, but the USB Wi-Fi adapter has not been connected with anything. Okay. Now, like I already mentioned that this USB Wi-Fi adapter, you cannot create hotspot out of it because it does not have AP mode, access point mode. So we have to convert. So you have to make hotspot of this one. So we are going to make this inbuilt Wi-Fi card. We are going to create hotspot using this. So before that, we have to use this external USB adapter to connect with the Wi-Fi, connect with the router. So I'll just give it Sparkless 2G here. So now it has been connected to the Sparkless 2G, and that's why it's no more the same IP. So what I have to do is I again have to just switch my IP. So I'll just disconnect from here. I'll again go to, so again I'll do Raspberry Pi local, and I'll again give the password. I'll reconnect. So now if you see, now we are connected with Sparkless 2G using the external Wi-Fi USB adapter. Okay. Now we are going to create the hotspot using this one. So what I'll do is first I'll show you how you can do it with the GUI, and next I will also show you how you can do it in terminal. So you have to just go to advanced option. You have to go to create wireless hotspot. You just click on this. Very important, Wi-Fi adapter. So which Wi-Fi adapter we are going to use to create the hotspot? I already mentioned we cannot use this Realtek, this one. So Broadcom Wi-Fi, the inbuilt chipset we are going to use. Click on this one. Network name, we have to give a network name. So I'll just give it Wi-Fi RPI. This is the name I will give it. And the Wi-Fi security, I'm going to give none, but you can also put a password, but just I'm going to give none. So it will have no password. And then I'll just click on create. And it's done. That's it. That's all the thing you need to do. So now if we just click on it, as you can see, it's showing this. And now basically, so it is showing that this is basically your USB Wi-Fi adapter is connected to Sparkless 2G, and your inbuilt Wi-Fi card has created this Wi-Fi RPI. Okay, now I'll show you that this thing is working. So now I'll just exit from this RPI. So I'll just exit from here. Now if I just go to my laptop screen, I click on here and other networks, as you can see that Wi-Fi RPI. So this Wi-Fi I can look in, so I can in my Mac I can see this Wi-Fi. Now I'll also connect to it to show you that you can access internet from here. So I'll just connect here, Wi-Fi RPI. It has been, my laptop has been connected to Wi-Fi RPI. Now I'll just open my browser. I'll go into it. And now here, I'll just open Google. I'll just open Google, and here we are. So now I can access internet. So now my MacBook has been connected with this Wi-Fi RPI, the hotspot we just have created. So basically now my laptop is connected to my Raspberry Pi, and then my Raspberry Pi is connected to my main router, which is Sparkless 2G. So it's like Raspberry Pi getting internet from Sparkless 2G, and then my this laptop is connected to Raspberry Pi to get the internet. This is how the overall thing is working. This is as simple as this one. Okay. And so this is how you can create using the so if you're using a router. Now what if you are using a Ethernet cable? In that case, if you're using Ethernet cable, then the first step what we did, we plugged the USB Wi-Fi adapter in, we connected to the router. That step you don't need to do, because if you put the Ethernet cable, you're already connected to network. So you just simply go to the advanced option and you just create a new hotspot. Okay. Now few other things are remaining. So this is, you created the hotspot for one time. Now what if you want to make these settings permanent? So every time you boot your Raspberry Pi, and automatically it is going to become the hotspot. That thing I'll show you. And before I'll show you that thing, I'll show you how you can do the whole thing from terminal also. Okay, so that I'll show you, and then I'll show you how you can make it permanent, because if you have to make it permanent, that thing you have to do from the terminal. So now I'll again go back to my Raspberry Pi and I'll show you how to do that. So now I am back into my RPI. Now the first thing I'll do is I am going to delete this. So I'm going to delete this hotspot. So I'll show you again how you can do it for terminal. So for that, you need to go to edit connections, and from there, this Wi-Fi RPI, just click on this minus button and it is going to get deleted. Okay. Now if you just come here, you are going to see it's just showing Sparkless 2G, and again this our Broadcom Wi-Fi is now showing all the other available Wi-Fi's around. Okay. Now I'll show you how you can do it from terminal. Now for that we'll just click here. So the very first thing we'll do is we're going to write nmcli. So just a minute, nmcli device. So first thing we'll write nmcli device, and you are going to see this. So I'll just make it a little bigger. Okay. So as you can see, it is showing. So if you do nmcli device, it's going to show you that there is WLAN 1 which is been connected to Wi-Fi. LO, we don't need to talk about LO. There is WLAN 0 which is again Wi-Fi but disconnected. So what is WLAN 0, WLAN 1? So WLAN 1 basically means the USB adapter, external USB adapter, and WLAN 0 basically means the inbuilt one. Now in our case, as the USB adapter has been connected to Sparkless 2G, it's showing that WLAN 1 is connected, whereas WLAN 0, which is the inbuilt one, that is not connected, so disconnected. Okay, so here we are going to do all the operations on WLAN 0. Okay, because why? Because WLAN 0 is the inbuilt chipset of Raspberry Pi that supports AP mode. So we are going to do all the operations on WLAN 0. So first we have to make the hotspot. So it's a single command you need, and all the commands we are going to use in this video we are going to get in the video description. So this command we need to use. So I'll just copy it from here, and then I'll just go to VNC. I'll just paste it. So this is the command we need. So it is sudo nmcli device Wi-Fi hotspot ssid. So ssid hotspot name I need to give. So this time I'll give it a separate name. So let's say I give it Wi-Fi 2. Let's say I give it a name, and this time I'm also going to give you I'm going to give a password. So the password I'm going to give is going to be, let's say, 1234. No, not the best password in the world, but yeah, it's fine. Here, most important thing, that ifname WLAN 0. It should be WLAN 0 because we are working on WLAN 0. Okay, click here. Okay, it's not a valid password. So okay, so we need to give a better password. So I'll just give Sparklers 1234 then, and I'll click enter. And as you can see, WLAN 0 successfully activated with this and all that. So now if we go here again, as you can see that our Broadcom Wi-Fi, that means inbuilt chipset, has been created, the Wi-Fi 2. Okay. Now the first thing is done. Now if you go to your Mac, just give me a moment. If I just go to my Mac and show you, the hotspot had been already created. So if I just go to Mac, go to other networks, I'm going to get Wi-Fi 2. And this time it's locked. So I have to give password to get connected. Okay. But now this step is done. Now the next step is to make it permanent. So every time you boot your Raspberry Pi, automatically it is going to make this thing as hotspot. So what do we need to do? So for that, the first thing we need to do is we need to do nmcli connection and nmcli connection show. So what I'll just do is nmcli connection. If I give this, what will happen? This is going to give me all the different connection names. So as you can see here, this WLAN 0. This is hotspot. As we have created the hotspot, it show it as hotspot. And WLAN 1, it is showing pre-configured. Pre-configured means basically it's like connected to Wi-Fi, and so you already have configured. So that's why it's showing pre-configured, and it's basically Wi-Fi. Okay, it's connected to the Wi-Fi, and WLAN 0 is the hotspot. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do nmcli connection show, and I'm going to paste the UUID of the WLAN 0. And I'll tell you why. So let me just, I don't know if I get it copied. Yeah, copied. And now I'll just paste it here. And now as you can see, there is two parameters we are interested. That is connection auto connect. So that means it's saying that do this device, whenever you are going to boot your device next, do it will auto connect? No. So you have to make it yes. Next thing is connection.autoconnect-priority. What is the priority of your autoconnect? It's 0. So these two things we need to change. So we have to make this autoconnect yes and autoconnect priority 100. So whenever you are going to boot your Pi, it will automatically going to connect. Okay, connect to the, it will automatically going to create the hotspot. Now to change these things, what we need to do, we need to just copy this command from here, and we are going to paste it. So what is doing? Sudo nmcli connection modify hotspot. So here hotspot UUID we need to put. So this is the hotspot UUID. So I'll just copy it. So it is here. We have to put the WLAN 0 hotspot UUID because all the operations we are doing on WLAN 0. It's a very important thing. So we have pasted the UUID. Connection autoconnect, yes. So that means I am making the connection autoconnect at CS, and connection autoconnect priority I am setting as 100. So now if I click yes, the modification is done. Next, if I again check nmcli connection show this, now you see that the auto connection is showing as yes and priority is 100. So that means next time whenever you are going to boot your Pi, it is automatically going to create the hotspot for you. So now you have truly a router. So it is like whenever next time you'll boot your Pi, you don't need to open the screen, VNCs, just nothing. You boot your Pi automatically connect to a router you have configured. So in our case, we have configured for the it will automatically going to get connected to the Sparkless 2G to get the internet, and automatically going to create Wi-Fi 2. This hotspot is automatically going to create. So for example, I'll just show you a demo here. So I'll just do sudo reboot, and we are done. We have disconnected Raspberry Pi, and here if I go here and other networks, so we'll just wait. Still it's showing, but I think the Raspberry Pi is now booting up, so we'll wait for a few seconds. So once it will booted, it should automatically get the hotspot. Again, we'll connect our laptop with the hotspot and check if we're getting the internet or not. Okay, so now let's just try to connect with the Wi-Fi. It shows asking us a password, and the password, if I remember correctly, it was, and we are connected. Now I'll just go to my web browser. I'll just go to Google, and yeah, I'm getting my network. So now I have a wireless router. So this is how it basically works, and this is how you can create a wireless router. Now for Ethernet, I already told you, it's very simple. You just connect Ethernet cable, create the hotspot, and that's it. And also you have to change the priority and the connection auto connect. So whenever you boot your Pi, it will automatically going to do this thing for you. Okay, so that's it. Okay guys, so this is how you can create a wireless router using your Raspberry Pi, and I hope you have learned something from this video. In that case, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because many more Raspberry Pi related topics we are going to cover in our next videos. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the very next video.